DeGeneres is coming out to address her cancellation, you guys. This is all going down in her new Netflix comedy special that was released this week, and she is not afraid to make a joke or two, or maybe even more, about her cancellation. She's talking about the fact that people were saying that she was mean. She is getting into it, and we're going to talk about, how we kind of got here, who has been posting supporting this comedy special, how it seems she's feeling about everything, and so much more. Ellen DeGeneres was once beloved by America. This is after they accepted she was a lesbian, because prior to her being a very well-loved talk show host, she was an actress on The Ellen Show, which was a sitcom, and when she first came out, she faced a lot of backlash. Some advertisers pulled out, and the show's ratings began to decline, and it was eventually canceled after its 5th season. But in 2003, 5 years after her sitcom got canceled, The Ellen DeGeneres Show premiered, and it was an instant success. It was lighthearted, it radiated positive energy, she was dancing, interacting with the audience, giving away huge prizes, and everyone loved it. That is until summer 2020, when things really took a turn for Ellen, as several former employees came forward with allegations of a toxic work environment behind the scenes of the show. The complaints included accusations of workplace bullying, harassment, and a general culture of fear. Which, for this to be coming out about someone who preached to be kind to one another at the end of every single show, fans were shocked. Conversations went on about how Ellen was not as nice as she portrayed on television, and people were coming out with the stories that they heard about her or interactions that they've had. And I will say there were signs of something coming, though, as prior to employees talking about the workplace environment in early 2020, it had been revealed that Ellen's crew was furious over poor communication regarding pay during COVID. Sources had said that more than 30 employees received no written communication about the status of their working hours, pay, or inquiries about their mental and physical health from producers for over a month. That same month, YouTuber Nikki Tutorials spilled some tea on Ellen as she opened up about her experience going on the show. E wrote at the time, in a new Q&A with the Dutch publication &C, the star says her time on the show was less than satisfactory. Call me naive, but I kind of expected to be welcomed with confetti cannons. Welcome to the Ellen DeGeneres Show. But instead, I was greeted by an angry intern who was a bit overworked. The makeup artist said in a translation of the interview, I was expecting a Disney show, but got Teletubbies after dark. She adds she was even more disappointed when she learned she'd have to use the public restroom when the other guests had a private toilet. The 26-year-old shares, I was not allowed to use the nearest toilet because it was reserved for the Jonas Brothers. Why do they get a private toilet, I thought. Once news had spread about Ellen and the workplace environment, there ended up being an internal investigation by Warner Media, which resulted in some high-level producers being fired. Ellen addressed the allegations during the season 18 premiere in September of 2020, apologizing to her staff and audience. She took responsibility as the head of the show, although she stated that she wasn't aware of everything happening behind the scenes. Ellen ended up announcing in 2021 that the show would end in 2022 following the 19th season of her show. She's laid pretty low since the ending of the show, but earlier this year, she started her big return to stand-up comedy. She was going on tour. It was called Ellen's Last Stand-Up Tour, and at the beginning of the year, her jokes made headlines as she was addressing her cancellation. According to Rolling Stone, whose reporter attended one of the shows, Ellen gave a little recap of how life has been and what she's been up to since the end of her show, and she really got into it. The reporter wrote, "What else can I tell you?" she mused, mock reflecting on her recent past before adding sarcastically, "Oh yeah, I got kicked out of show business. There's no mean people in show business. The be kind girl wasn't kind," DeGeneres continued. "I became this one-dimensional character who gave stuff away and danced up steps. Do you know how hard it is to dance up steps? Would a mean person dance up steps? Had I ended my show by saying go F yourself, people would have been pleasantly surprised." It seemed Ellen was still coming off as processing her scandal, and later went on to talk about how her coworkers at the show were like family to her, but according to Rolling Stone, she was an immature boss who didn't know how to be a boss. She was later quoted saying, "I'm giving stuff away, and I danced. Then I was mean and they didn't like me again," she said. "It's been such a toll on my ego and my self-esteem. There's such extremes in this business. People either love you and idolize you, or they hate you, and those people somehow are louder." And well, Ellen has once again made headlines for bringing up her cancellation as she's released a Netflix comedy special titled Ellen DeGeneres for Your Approval, which she's claiming that this is a special that is also a farewell. And much like what was reported from her show in April, this comedy special was putting her thoughts on her cancellation on public display. The special starts with news reports talking about what's come out about her, and they cut to a clip of her joking about how because she became the be kind to one another girl, she can't do anything unkind now. And it's just one of the many jokes that she makes about her talk show career coming to an end and everything that's been said about her. Even joking about people who might be wondering why she's even doing a comedy special, joking about how people might try to say, does she owe back taxes or something? But she claims she's here because she likes comedy, she loves stand-up, she likes making people happy, and says that she does care what people think. She later jokes about getting kicked out of show business for being mean and says you can't be mean and be in show business, and it kind of sounds like what she was saying at the previous show that was reported by Rolling Stone, but she gets into more of her cancellation. She says it was a big story and there were tons of headlines about her being the most hated person in America, and she says it's a horrible thing to say about somebody, and joked about how a title like that doesn't even come with any benefits. Like, there's no award, there's no trophies, there's no banquet, it's just a title. And as she continues, she reminisces on her talk show, expressing fond memories she made on set, and mentioned how she would scare her guests and she would scare her staff, and joked about it being something that she liked to do and how that could be interpreted as her terrorizing her staff and guests. And it was just this whole joke that she was making because it was something that people were calling out during her cancellation. They were like, isn't it kind of effed up that she likes to scare people? Like, what is this? Eventually, she talks about the fact that she was a very immature boss and says that it's because she didn't even want to be a boss, and says that just because her name was on everything, she didn't think that meant she should be in charge, joking about how Ronald McDonald's is not the CEO of McDonald's. In all of this, it just really seemed like Ellen was saying that, yes, she was the star of her own show, and that's all she thought she had to be, or that's all she really wanted to be. It seems like, she was this diva and thought that's all she had to do was be that diva whose name was on the show, and that's it. But because her name was on everything, people felt that she was responsible for making sure the people who represent her were also happy, and it seemed she failed to realize or even care about the lives of those putting on her show to make it all happen, and that was her biggest downfall. I think in Ellen's eyes, she was thinking, well, this show is owned by Warner Brothers. It's on Warner Brothers to make sure that everybody is happy and everyone is taken care of and things are running smoothly, and I can act however I want to act. But, the lesson here is that you need to make sure that the people that are working for you, that are making your show come together, or anything that you do, no matter who you are, that anyone around you, however big or small of a role they're playing in your life, you need to make sure that they are taken care of. Because, just in general, if your name is on something, you want to make sure that everybody that helps get your name on that and is working on that project is happy because of things like this. Why would you want to be known as somebody who is running anything where people are unhappy? And I do think it is a bigger story because of how nice everybody thought that she was. And because she did make herself the be kind girl. If she didn't make herself the be kind girl, I don't think it would have been as big of a deal. It would have just been like, oh, she's another one of those celebrities that's mean. But because everyone thought that she was this amazing, nice, super kind person, and then it turned out she wasn't, it was a bigger story. Now, though Ellen is a controversial one to support these days, she still does have celeb friends out there showing her love. Kris Jenner posted about her new special on Instagram, writing, "Someone's Netflix special is launching today. I'm so proud and excited for you, E, at Ellen DeGeneres at Netflix." People in the comments were telling Kris to read the room and wondered how long it would be till she took down the post. But given that the Kardashians are very close with Ellen, I'm not too surprised by this. Ellen has been seen in several episodes of the Kardashians. Whenever they're having dinner parties and things like that at the house, she's usually invited, and the Kardashians aren't one to avoid controversy, so we cannot be too surprised here. But that's what's been going on with Ellen, what she had to say recently in her Netflix special about everything that's come out and been said about her. I want to know what you guys think about all of this. If you watched the special, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Also, I wanted to say, if you guys are not following me on TikTok, you are missing out. I'm constantly posting multiple times a day pop culture updates, also on Instagram, so check it out. I will link it in the description. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.